Welcome to Disney Gargoyles Awakening. Unfold the game board, assemble the city buildings, and attach them to the board. The instructions for first-time building assembly are detailed on pages 10 and 11 of the rulebook. Select one of the 4 episode placards and follow the setup instructions on the back of it, placing villains, minions, and items in their starting locations, setting aside any additional tokens, and setting the villain's health track accordingly. For your first game, the rulebook suggests starting off with the episode titled Reawakening. Next, turn the episode placard face up and set it near the game board. This explains episode-specific rules, as well as the win and lose conditions for ending the game. Shuffle the villain cards from the episode you're playing and put them in a face-down draw pile. Each player then chooses a hero placard, puts a gray health tracker clip on their max health, and takes their corresponding hero mini and cards. Place your hero mini in any empty space at the police clock tower. Shuffle your hero cards to form a face-down draw pile directly in front of you, and draw 3 cards to form your starting hand. Whoever most recently watched a cartoon goes first. On your turn, you're known as the active player. Each turn has 3 phases: the hero phase, the villain phase, and the refresh phase. During the hero phase, the active player performs actions by spending up to the number of action points indicated by the number in the circle in the top left corner of their placard. Many of the cards in your hero deck will give you abilities you can use during your turn by spending the appropriate number of action points and discarding the card face up next to your deck. Each hero also has the option to use the following basic actions for 1 action point. Movement allows you to move up to the number of spaces indicated by this symbol on your placard. You may move in any direction, including diagonally, and you may pass through spaces occupied by other characters, but you can only end your turn on an empty space. Whenever you move to an adjacent space that's above your character, no matter how high, it costs 2 points of movement instead of 1. Moving to a lower space, though, doesn't have any additional cost. Attack allows you to select a target within your range, which is 1 space, unless indicated otherwise by this symbol, by rolling a number of dice equal to your strength, indicated by this symbol. You'll choose your target before rolling your dice, and other players may assist by activating applicable skills listed on their placard, or by playing reaction cards, which have a big R on them. Then, when you roll your dice, you deal 1 damage for every scratch symbol rolled, nothing for every blank, and you might be able to activate a special ability once, if it's available, when you roll a lightning bolt. Look for that symbol on your placard or hero cards to see what special abilities you can use. Note, you may only activate 1 special ability for each lightning bolt rolled, and each special ability can only be used once per attack. Whenever a hero or villain takes a point of damage, lower their health tracker by 1 notch. When their health reaches 0, they are defeated, and if a hero is defeated, the game is lost. The Steel Clan and Biker Gang minions used in some episodes have 2 health points, but instead of tracking it the way you will for heroes and villains, you'll simply flip the token over to the red side when they've been dealt 1 point of damage, and remove them from the board when they've taken a second. Some attacks also have the ability to stun minions. The rulebook recommends keeping all minion tokens oriented upright in line with the numbers and letters on the edges of the board, and rotating them to the side whenever they're stunned. Then, the next time they would activate, simply rotate them back upright to show they're not stunned anymore. Finally, the glide action can only be used if you're on a building, but it allows you to move just as you would with regular movement up to the number of spaces indicated by this symbol on your placard. And note that, whether it makes sense thematically or not, the rules for spending 2 points of movement to travel upward still apply. You'll also be gathering skill tokens throughout the course of the game, which can be discarded during the hero phase without having to spend any action points to activate the skill indicated on your placard. After you've taken all the actions you're going to take for this turn, the villain phase begins. First, check to see how much time has passed by counting the number of crescent moons visible in the nighttime track. If there are 4, it is now daytime, which resolves a little differently than a normal villain phase. For now, we'll take a look at what happens when it's still nighttime. Draw a card from the top of the villain deck and resolve it from top to bottom. If the card has a crescent moon symbol, place it on the nighttime track in the next empty space. Take a look at the text on the card to see which villains and minions are activated. Activated villains refer to the movement, attack, and special effects detailed by the card, but activated minions will move and attack based on the numbers listed on their tokens. If there's a number in the movement symbol on the card, the activated villain moves in the direction indicated on the episode placard. If they're moving toward a specific character or item, they always take the shortest path possible. Once they're adjacent to a hero, they stop moving. Whenever there's a tie between where a character moves or who they attack, the active player makes the ultimate decision. If the movement symbol indicates a specific location, the villain is immediately moved to that space on the game board. If that space is already occupied, the active player chooses one of the nearest unoccupied spaces, meaning adjacent if possible. Just like hero movement, villains and minions can travel through spaces another character is occupying, but they can only stop in empty spaces. And if there's an effect controlled by a hero, like a card, attack, or special ability causing the movement, that hero controls where they move. Villain attacks work pretty much the same as hero attacks. After moving, use the strength value listed to attack one hero within the attack's range, just like you would a hero attack. Unless there are no heroes within range, in which case just skip this step. And remember, villains refer to the strength value on the card, but minions always use the strength value on their token. Some cards will also have special text included with the instructions on which characters are activated. Sometimes this simply modifies the results of the attack roll, like granting special abilities for lightning bolts. If the text isn't applicable to the attack, though, it's resolved after that step of the villain phase. Finally, unless you've already placed it on the nighttime track because of a crescent moon, the card is discarded face up next to the deck. If, at the start of the villain phase, the nighttime track is full, don't do any of the other steps we've just covered, and instead refer to the episode placard to resolve daytime effects for the villains. Then, resolve each hero's daytime effects as indicated on their placards in player turn order. Note that when you get to the step where you shuffle the villain discard pile back into the deck, that includes the 4 cards on the nighttime track. After the villain phase, the active player draws up to a hand size of 3 cards and play moves clockwise to the next player. Some episodes include special items you'll need to achieve your end goal. Unlike other characters, any character may occupy the same space as an item. You can also pick up an item that's either in the same space as your hero or in an adjacent space by spending 1 action point. If a hero takes damage from an attack while carrying an item, the item is dropped in their current space. And that's it. The rest of the rules should be explained for you by episode and hero placards and the cards. So, enjoy the nostalgia of Disney Gargoyles Awakening. Hey there, my name's Kyle McCarlin. I'm a voice actor by trade. You may have heard me as one of these guys. But I'm here to talk to you now about one of my favorite hobbies, board games. I love them. If you like board games, you should check out The Board and Barrel every Sunday night at 7:30 Pacific on twitch.tv/Kyle McCarlin, where me and my buddies play board games. We also give you guys a chance to help us or hurt us, depending on how you feel, with our Buff and Nerf house rules. And we have virtual bingo cards you can fill out while you're watching the show. It's a good time. Hope to see you there.